Hey guys, Zomfox here, and today we have a different type of video that's going to become a more yearly video. This is the State of the Channel, the 2024 edition. Essentially, I'm going to go over how this past year went, what we're looking to in the future, and just overall kind of where we're at right now. So if you're not interested in that, just stay for a couple minutes. We've got two massive announcements today. The first one is going to be, well, two announcements that we have two separate subscriber goals this year. The first one is that at 500 subscribers, we will be doing a Q&A. I asked you guys about a couple weeks ago whether or not you wanted this, and it was an overwhelming support of yes, you do want this. So at 500 subscribers, we will be doing a Q&A. You can ask me questions about the UFL, other YouTubers, myself, pretty much anything you want, and unless it's something really outlandish, I'll pretty much answer all of them. We're getting pretty close to 400 subscribers. If you're part of the insane 84% that aren't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because also at 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away 3 boxes of 2023 USFL Upper Deck. It will be a pretty fun giveaway. Now, the one thing to note is that if we hit this goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll be adding a lot more to this giveaway. There's a couple things I'm going to be trying to get in the works to get for this giveaway. I don't know for sure if I'll be able to get them, but at bare minimum, we'll be giving away 3 boxes of 2023 USFL Upper Deck. Try to pull autographs of some big stars: Case Cookus, Jamar Smith, Mark Thompson, all those kind of guys. So, without further ado, let's get into the actual second announcement. The channel branding is changing. Yes, because of the fact that we are going from the USFL to the UFL, we are going to be changing up the branding. Number one is the channel name is changing from Zomfox USFL to Zomfox UFL. Pretty simple. I don't think anyone's going to be shocked at that. Though I will say, if you're a fan of the OG USFL content, do not worry. I will still be doing that. In fact, I might actually add to the OG spring football I do during the offseason. I might dabble in the 2001 XFL. I might dabble in the AAF and the 2020 XFL. So don't be worried. I will still be doing that. I'm still working on the Herschel Walker video, which, as I said in the community post, I bit off a lot more than I could chew in that one, so it's going to take me a while. But yeah. Now, the other two things is that we have a new channel profile picture. It is an updated version. It is on Fox UFL. It's got the 8 teams. It's got the new logo. I think it's a bit of an upgrade over the last two. The first one was pretty bad. The second one was a lot better. This one, I think, is pretty much the best of all three of them. And we also are actually updating the channel banner. For those of you who remember, the channel banner was the 3 USFL trading card rookies of the 3 MVPs from the OG League: Kelvin Bryant, Herschel Walker, and Jim Kelly. It is going to be changed, but have the same idea. It actually has the channel profile picture in the center, front and center, but it will also be hit with the 3 OG USFL MVPs, the OG XFL MVP, the 2 new USFL MVPs, and the not official, but kind of official XFL MVP. Essentially, it's the same idea, but we're going to be actually showing all of them in a more updated, actual, more aesthetically pleasing look. The only group that gets kind of screwed over by this is you TV viewers. The banner is not the best on that, which I do apologize for that. But on the phone, you'll see a couple of the MVPs. On desktop, you'll be able to see all of them. I think it's a really solid one. It's overall great to show the history of the league, as they pretty much are either directly or loosely connected to all the leagues, with the least connection being to the OG XFL. But I still think it's a cool change. So those are the two massive updates in regard to the channel: subscriber goal and overall channel branding difference. So let's get into this actual year. We have some stats to go over, so without further ado, let's get right into it with the views. Now, when I got all this info, this was, I believe, January 1st or January 2nd I got all this info. This video is probably coming out either the 5th or it's coming out in like the 8th. It depends on when we actually find out the draft results from the dispersal draft. So these aren't fully updated numbers, but the main idea is looking at this past year, 2023, compared to 2022. So this past year, we were able to hit over 44,000 views on the channel. Got pretty close to 50K, honestly, which is pretty insane. And so we saw a lot of the spikeage pretty much early on in the season, with a very big spike, in April. And then, of course, when the merger news came out, it just exploded. I mean, day after day after day, we were hitting legitimately high numbers. And the last couple of days, at least when I'm recording this, we've continued that pretty much because of how big this UFL news is. So we got a lot of boost from the end of the year, from the USFL XFL merger news. And then overall, we did see also the watch time was pretty similar. The watch time, 2.1K hours. We did break 2,000 watch time in hours during this past year. And in truth, it was actually better than the views in a sense, because we were much higher overall across the year. People who were watching videos were watching pretty much the whole thing and all that. So even in those little down spurts that we hit, July to September, wasn't as bad as it was for the viewing area. And the watch time was still incredible. We had multiple single days of over 22 watch hours, which is incredible. The only one that was somewhat disappointing was the subscriber, and that's only because of comparing it to the year prior. But we still did see a lot of growth in the channel, over 200 new subscribers this year. As the overall most consistent growth, again, was early on in the USFL season, as well as during the entire merger news. That's pretty much where we've been at. We've continuously grown. We're getting like dangerously close to 400 subscribers. In fact, within the next few days, we're probably going to hit that milestone, which is going to be incredible. So overall, that's pretty insane. Now, what does these numbers actually compare to in other ways? Well, before we get to that, let's just go to the top 10 videos this year. Top 10 videos this year were kind of surprising with the number one video, the Arena Football League video. I did the first one back in February about it coming back in 24. That video just exploded. I mean, over 5,000 views. It's by far the most viewed video on the channel, and it's an AFL video. I was kind of shocked that it got as many views as it did. I'm not upset by any means, but it was kind of a one-off video I did just to announce that, hey, it's coming back, the little news we knew about it, and then boom, it just almost 6K views. Then the all 8 USFL teams surviving the merger, the Y5 teams are bad, as well as which teams survived the merger. The merger have only these amount of teams. Essentially, a bunch of the merger news stuff. I believe it was like 5 or 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 videos were just about the merger that got up to 6, I mean. But we did also have the Maulers changing their colors, which is a big one, the 4 hub cities the USFL will play in, and the regular season schedule and predictions for 2023. So we did have a lot of random ones. We did end up having 7 videos that broke 1,000 in just 2023 alone that were posted in 2023. So that was overall solid. Overall, pretty solid numbers. I mean, having the predictions up there that high was my personal favorite. I always like doing the actual, I call it content videos instead of just news stuff. Very glad that one did well, and I can't wait to do the 2024 edition for the UFL. Now, in terms of the other numbers, this is the overall numbers on the channel as of right now. We are currently, when I took this info, at 71.9K. Since then, we're probably getting even closer to hitting the massive milestone of 75,000 views. Getting really close on that one. And then sooner or later, we'll be at 100,000. At watch time, that one is also at a pretty high amount, 3.4K. We're not really close to any massive milestone. I don't think 3.5 is really a milestone. That's more like 4K. Then subscribers, like I said, at the time when I got this info, we're at 391, but I believe at this moment we're 395. We're 5 away from 400. Overall, though, the views, like I said, it makes sense. The April time slot in the first year in 2022 was when we were the highest initially in the channel, and then we hit April again, and then we hit the end of the year. So I'm assuming we'll probably have another boom once we hit around the late March, or just really March when you have all those videos coming out. Because I have a lot of videos planned from now till then. We're going to have at least 2 power rankings videos come out before the season starts, ranking all 8 coaches, potentially the quarterback rooms, and a lot of stuff. So what do they overall compare to? In views, this past year, we actually had a 71% increase from 2022, hitting 44,800 versus the 26,222. Watch time, we also nearly doubled, 76% increase going from 1.2K to 2.1K. And then subscribers was where we saw the least amount of growth at 25% increase going from the 170 to 212. It still is growth, but naturally it's not the same as the other ones, which hopefully we can change that. As I said before, we have a huge amount of people who aren't subscribed, so if you got this far, make sure you're subscribed. But the fact is that we're getting close to these milestones, and it's pretty incredible. I mean, I didn't think we were going to be able to hit all these milestones as fast as we are. There's a realistic shot that by the season starting, we'll be at 500, and hell, maybe at the end of the year, we do hit 1,000 before the year ends, which would be incredible. As overall, it's overall pretty cool. Now, another thing, and some goals for 2024. The first one is really to get a much bigger presence on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, I am on Instagram, exact same tag I am here, ZomFoxUFL, the new one. Used to be USFL naturally, but now it's going to be UFL. Multiple players follow this account. Not a ton of people do. We're hoping to hit 100, in the next few days, possibly, and then hopefully by the season start, we may be able to hit a much higher milestone like 200. So if you're not following already, go follow that account on Instagram. I either do posts that are intros or thumbnails to videos that are being posted on the main channel. info in just a story, or sometimes actual content just for that. I've posted stuff from the collection video that was posted first on there. And of course, a goal for this next year that I'll talk about in shorts will end up having more posts on Instagram that are pretty big there. Now, this past year, in terms of what I can sum it up as, I have 5 videos I picked that I would say properly sum up this year. We have the UFL or the USFL championship game that I went to being the crown jewel this past year. The best experience of the year by far for me, insanely fun video. A lot of cool stuff I did on there. It was a great time. Definitely my favorite video. There's a reason why it overtook my welcome to the channel video as my channel intro for new people. Then the other channels or other videos, 2 of my favorites were the OG rankings, ranking the original 12 USFL coaches and the 10 best OG USFL quarterbacks. I always thought the coaches video came out in 22. This year was rough in a sense of how long it was. It was a long time. But yes, that video did come out last year. It was one of my favorite videos I made, but it was definitely not as good as my best quarterbacks video. I loved the quarterbacks video. And I can safely say that this year in the offseason, I will be doing a top 10 best running backs from the OG USFL, maybe even wide receivers. Then the other 2 is the USFL and XFL merger. Of course, the first announcement of the potential merger. That's what really sparked a ton of growth in a lot of channels in the spring football community. So not surprising that that video is on here. And then ranking all 16 modern USFL teams from worst to best. That was a video I had been thinking about doing, and I didn't know if I was actually going to do it. And then when I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it, I did it, and I really liked it. It was really fun looking back at 22 and comparing it to 23, which teams upgraded and players and all that. It was just a really fun video. Definitely one of my favorites. And so with that, it just comes to the question of what exactly is 2024 going to come? Well, like I said, the Herschel Walker video, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'll have it ready by the season start. I'm going to try my best. But the insane amount of content that I have to get out before the season starts is going to hamper it, but I will continue working on it. But in terms of overall goals for this year, goals are to hit 500 subscribers before the season starts, and at bare minimum, hit 750 at the end of the year. I want to see a lot of growth, hopefully, because I'm going to be trying to get a lot more content out. One thing I didn't do a ton, but I did do a bit, was YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are great content because they're both great for YouTube and Instagram. As the one thing with Instagram is I hate when I'm just posting thumbnails and it's just kind of like a, hey, go look at YouTube. Doing Reels is a really solid way because then for those people who want to be just on Instagram can see YouTube Shorts on Instagram, and people who are only on YouTube can see Instagram Reels on YouTube, vice versa. So I'm planning to do some of those, either look at OG USFL stuff like, hey, who are the champions of the OG USFL? Who won these awards? Or look at who ended up being the all-time USFL leaders in the modern USFL, since technically the stats are probably going to kind of be counted, kind of not, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I want to do a lot more YouTube Shorts. Then video-wise, this past year, I think there might have been one time where it took me 6 days to upload, and that was when I went on vacation. But aside from that, instead of doing the every 6 days like I promised I'd do, I ended up doing every 5 days at bare minimum. So naturally, we're going to continue doing more and more uploads. I'm planning to do a full draft recap for both the USFL and XFL dispersal drafts, which again, either this video is coming out after that's already been posted or before. It all depends when we actually find out about the draft results, as some sources at the time of recording this say we won't find out till Monday. It is what it is. So that's going to happen. And then other videos that are planned in the next, week, 2 weeks, yada, yada, ranking all 8 coaches in the UFL, potentially doing a quarterback ranking in terms of, each team's quarterback room. We have a power rankings video I'm going to do after the first dispersal draft and then after the second dispersal draft. So we have those coming out. And of course, if there's any other news coming out, we're supposed to get the schedule in the next couple weeks, the UFL rulebook. We've heard rumors about it. A lot of people aren't happy about the rumors, but they're still just rumors. Playoff format might be changing, which again, some people like, some people don't like. So there's a lot of stuff that will be coming out in the next couple weeks for those of you who are ready for it. So that's pretty much it for the state of the channel in 2024. We had a overall really solid year this past year. There's a lot of fun stuff we did, and a lot of videos that I'm really glad I made, stuff I wanted to make for a while, like the top 10 quarterbacks, the ranking all 16 modern USFL teams, the tier lists. I forgot to mention those. Those are really fun. I love doing some of those, and I'm glad I'm going to be able to continue it with the season starting soon. I do hope that I'm able to do some more of the OG series. I haven't done an opinion video in a while. I only did one in-depth review during the season instead of the 3 I did the first year. Maybe we get another official Tank Bowl. That'll be fun to do. But we'll see. So this has been ZomFox. As always, make sure you subscribe with the bell turned on to be notified as soon as I upload any videos. If you like this video and I guess you're ready to see what 2024 has. Make sure to like this video. And as always, guys, have a great night.